G'day brewers, it's Key here from Kegland and just want to show you a really simple device, and when you see it and use it you'll be like, how did I not get this earlier, because it's so useful. Basically it's a keg fill stopper, so it's got a little sight glass like this, and you can use them as sight glasses if you wanted to, but yeah, what it is we've got these two 5/8 duo-type push-in fittings, little sight glass screws on top like this. And then what happens is you get this little spring. Now this is the same spring as inside our poppets, inside the kegs and the universal poppets that we sell. So yeah, that's it's nice to have sort of compatible spare parts. Yeah, when you put it into the sight glass here, you got to make sure that the tapered end is facing down like that. And then we've got a custom-made little silicon floating ball here, and that goes in on top like that. Then you just screw the duo-type fitting on the top there. Now what happens with this device is if you're filling from keg to keg or fermenter to keg, or pretty much doing any type of filling really, you've always got that situation that you're filling into the vessel and you either have to sit there pulling the pressure release valve up to let gas out, or you have to get a disconnect and completely open it, in which case it may overflow all over the floor. So this device, you just clip it onto the keg itself, and that way when the liquid level exceeds a certain level, the ball will float up and then shut the flow. So it's a complete set and forget solution. It is a nice little cheap, inexpensive device, and you'll find it extremely handy. Okay fellas, so I'm going to give you a bit of a demo. We've got the gas cylinder here. That's just set at what, about 20 psi. You can probably set it at whatever you want depending on what the carbonation level and the temperature of the beverage that you're dispensing is. I've just got some sanitizer in here, to be honest with you. So I've clipped on the gas here. Then I've got a jumper lead, so basically black to black with some beer line in between. I'm going to clip one side on here, and I just won't quite connect that one just yet, and I'll get this side sorted out. Look, I've already half filled this keg, so I don't have to wait too long, to be honest with you, so I've kind of half cheated there. Now, we just clip this on. Now, I should also say, with the stainless steel disconnects that we sell, they come out, the output of the stainless steel disconnects is a right angle. So you might find actually the stainless ones are slightly better for this application, especially if you're filling into these types of corny kegs where the post comes straight up. So that way you're coming out at a right angle, going through a elbow bend, and that way your float is sitting vertical, which is where you want it to be really. So yeah, I put the elbow on like that. Get another little bit of tubing here. Now I've actually got straight joiners as well, but they're not in stock at the moment, so I'm just using short bits of tubing which also do the job. Now when you hook this on, yeah, that spring once again has to be facing in the down position, so you've got the silicon ball float at the top. This goes on there like that, and away I go. So what I'm going to do is going to clip this on in that orientation so you guys can see it properly. Just like so. Now, another thing you can do, I should also say before I hook this up, is you do sometimes get a little bit of dribble or a little bit of squirt before it shuts the flow at the top. So if that concerns you, or if you're in really, a tidy environment, or you're on carpet or something like that, you can actually connect some beer line in here and then go into a bucket. So just in case you got any spillover or something like that, you can catch it in a container. However, I'm just going to roll the dice on this one and see how we go. So I'm going to connect this up. You saw a little bit of liquid came out the top, but really not much at all. Now, when you want to restart the process, you disconnect this. You've got to remember that's still under pressure in there, so you've got to let the pressure out and the ball come down in order to repeat the process if you want to fill another keg. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can either just push the bottom of the disconnect here like this, and you'll notice that the water comes out and redrain the unit. Or you can just unscrew, of course, the 5/8 fitting. Normally these only really need to be done up finger tight, so you just go like that and empty the liquid out, and you're good to go again. So when using the corny kegs, obviously the posts are facing directly vertical for the gas post, so it is kind of nice, as I was saying before, to use one of the stainless steel disconnects which have the output going directly horizontal. That way the blow tie ends up being perfectly vertical. One thing I should also say is if it's not quite perfectly vertical, it'll still work all right actually. You might just get a few more dribbles out the top before it shuts off. So even if it's at, let's say, 10 or 20 degrees off like that, to be honest with you, it will still work even if it's sort of like that a little bit. So that's okay. So even if we go like that, for instance, not a big deal. It's still going to do its job. The other thing is, if you've got a carbonated beverage in here, one thing you might want to do is add some head pressure. So when you're filling into a vessel, if you have no head pressure, you often get a bit of foaming when you're filling. So sometimes you want to have a bit of head pressure inside the receptacle you're filling into. And for that, you can use the blow tie. You may have seen this in another video I made a little while ago. Basically, this is a type of adjustable spunding valve, which is used exactly for this purpose. So you can adjust the pressure on this dial here. And then what you can do is have this go into the top of the unit like that. So what we've got is we've got the float, which will shut off the flow, but then we've also got the blow tie to maintain a specific head pressure on the vessel as well. So that's just another way you can set it up. Thanks for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed our video on the flow stopper. Definitely, it's going to save me a lot of spilt beer on the floor, and I hope it does the same for you. If you want to hear about any of the new stuff that's coming up, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. We release all our new gear on this channel, so you'll be able to keep your finger on the pulse on what's coming up. The other thing is sign up to our Facebook page. So yeah, that's where we give away a lot of discount codes and also a lot of information and prizes and stuff like that. So if you want to sort of keep ahead of things, definitely sign up to both the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. See ya. All right, so I can actually hear that gas flowing now at the top, and I can hear some liquid. Oh, there we go. Oh, fuck, wasn't done up.